Good afternoon. This is Scott Fain on the Team Woods podcast, talking today with Mr. Earl Levine. How are you doing today, Mr. Earl?
Pretty good, pal. How are you?
I'm doing great. For one, you're 94 years old. First off, how did you guys meet?
Well, I have two dogs, and he has one dog. You know his dog. And I take my dogs to a park on a daily basis. It's about just a couple of miles from my house. Big park, and it has tennis courts there. I walk them around a little bit, and I go to the tennis court and tennis courts. Close the gates. Take my dogs off the leash and let them run around in there, and I walk around it for exercise a couple of times. And in the meantime, here comes this guy with this big white dog on a bicycle. And the dogs knows each other. knows each other, and we talked and got a little how are you doing and so forth. Oh, what's your name? Okay, what's my name? Okay, see you around. Now that happened about 2 or 3 times. And then he told me what he does for a living, and I told him I needed a little work around my house. And he came and did some work there a couple of times. Oh yeah, the first time he came was he got rid of snow. He got a big snow blower. He has a big snow blower, and he came got rid of the snow. And I got to tell you something. He only charged me $20. And I got a big backyard and a big front yard. Usually a guy will charge you $40 or $50. It was very nice. He only charged $20, and then he did some lawn work for me. In the meantime, every time he came, we let that big dog in the house. That's pretty damn unusual because it is a big dog. Only thing, this big dog is a personality animal. He's a lovely animal, and he got along very well with my two dogs, which are he probably weighs 70 pounds, maybe 80. My biggest dog is 24 pounds, and the other one is 12 pounds. He got along very well with them, and well, the other thing is, for some reason, he loves me. That dog is taken to me, let's see. I don't know if we need this in this recording. I'm an animal person. I'm a retired horse trainer. I trained horses and bred them and lived on a farm for about 20 years with lots of animals. Big farm. So
okay.
And actually, I think that Matthew and I sort of related to each other. We're a couple of nice people. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, and I'm a nice guy. At this stage of my life, don't ask me how I was when I was younger, because I would be embarrassed.
You brought up a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. First off, you mentioned that you raised thoroughbred horses, and I wanted to see what's the most important lesson you learned from raising thoroughbred horses.
It may be the lessons that I learned are the people that are involved in that business.
How do you mean?
Well, some of them aren't very nice people. Take veterinarians.
Okay.
You get. I mean, if you're involved, particularly in thoroughbred horses, which are race horses, you are very heavily involved with veterinarians. They're money hungry. They're money hungry. Yeah, and I mean that was a lesson I learned. The animals. My wife and I were very heavily involved with the animals. And we were older people at the same time. It was a very nice life for us. Challenge.
Was it a lot of fun?
If you were successful with a horse, and we had some that we were very successful with. We were some we were successful with, and takes a lot of money. Takes a lot of money. Let's see. There's some very good people I mean, we were all some very good people. I don't mean to say that everybody's is a scumbag, but some of them are. I mean, there's some people that I would say it's sort of like life. Anyway, it was great for us.
Anyway,
it was long. It was wonderful. Yeah. Did some great things that people would. I mean, that would take another phone call.
What does the phrase "stopping to smell the roses" mean to you?
Did you hear me say that?
No. It's just something that I noticed that Matthew mentioned that you and he had talked about stopping to smell the roses, especially in these days.
I'm going to tell you who told me that. An elderly lawyer. I really didn't have any money, and he was helping me with a problem. And he said, "Don't hurry, don't worry, and don't forget to smell the roses." It's a nice policy. If we could all do that, what a wonderful world it would be.
That's the key, is making that happen.
Let me just throw something at you. I pulled up ADD.
Okay.
And looked at it, and most of the things on the internet are really pushing medication.
Right.
Medication or some kind of damn stupid stuff that I don't know. Actually, in my life, I've become very familiar with psychiatrists because I have a son who's got a very severe mental problem, and there ain't many good ones. Not many good psychiatrists. There's not many, but, and I don't know how anyone could do it or how you could do it. If you could find a good one, he could help a guy like you.
I should interject for just a second.
Pardon?
Okay. I was saying that I just wanted to make sure that I added a little bit of context for your last comment. The ADD, you and I had spoken previously about attention deficit disorder and the fact that I have it and how, some of my struggles with dealing with it and moving forward and being productive. So you said you went out and did a little bit of research on some fixes and some remedies and things of that nature, which I appreciate. I really do. I appreciate you even looking.
Yeah, well, when you pull, all I did was pull up on the internet, and boom, there they are, one after another.
Well, that's something not a lot of people will even do these days. Take the time to even look. So that's why I'm saying thank you.
Well, it was nice for me to have a better understanding of what you were talking about, and I know more than I did before. I'm hoping that you can handle it.
Oh yeah.
It sounds. You told me you got a wife and you have 3 kids. Is it 3?
Oh yeah.
So
3.
You have a wife and 3 kids. So you must have been able to pay attention to something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's an everyday exercise. It's an everyday exercise.
You go ahead.
Well, since you brought it up, one of the things that is a challenge sometimes is having effective communication. Being able to communicate your ideas cleanly, clearly, and quickly, which is not always the easiest thing to do. Do you have any tips as far as your lessons of how you communicate, efficiently?
I don't think about it. I think it's become natural for me just to be able to speak to people like I'm speaking to you, like on an equal basis, not trying to be a smart ass or looking down on somebody, which most people do. Most people are pretty self-centered, and at this stage of my life, I'm very fortunate that things are going well for me. And most of my life, they weren't going well. I had problems most of my life. And when I walk with my dogs in the park, we'll walk for, I don't know, before I turn them loose in the tennis court, we're walking, and there's several other people that walk. It's a it's a very big park, fantastic place, and a lot of people come and they walk a healthy walk. Most of them are pretty friendly. They may not know you, but they'll say good morning or hello. Most of them are pretty nice. Sometimes, though, that there's people that won't even make eye contact.
You know what? I can be guilty of that sometimes. To me, it boils down to what you're saying, self-centered, just being focused on whatever it is I'm focused on, and I feel like I'm in my own little world, and I recognize that in other people. So if there's...
Go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
I was going to say... Oh, no. I was just going to wind down. I promised you about 15 minutes or so for this call, and I wanted to ask you one more question.
Go ahead.
Basically, how long have you lived in Youngstown?
About 12 years or 13 years, something like that.
Okay. Well, in your time, what's the time being there in the city? What's the biggest changes that you've seen over the last 12 to 13 years?
In the city?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very, very busy.
It's busier now, you're saying?
Yes, I think so. I think there's more money around for some reason or other. Friday night is a big night for eating out in Youngstown for some reason or another that I don't know. But you can't get into a restaurant. The restaurants have and we're talking about a city with the city itself is maybe 75,000 people, but with the surrounding area, I think it goes up to 150,000. Little small towns that are connected to it. And I mean, you can't. I mean, I never even think of going out on a Friday night. It's a waste of time.
There have been a lot more. I did notice a lot more construction and stuff in the area, especially around the college. ASU.
Oh, the college is going crazy. I don't live very far from the college campus. Just a few miles from the college campus. Pass through it quite often. I mean, and actually, I think it's a very nice college campus. And they're building some dormitories over there that, let me see, are unbelievable. They are so large that make you wonder what the hell is going on here. I mean, big. Let's see. I think they just finished one, and they're building another one.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you again for talking with me today. Thank you.
Okay, pal.